My husband is frustrating me. He works 50-hour work weeks, and his job is very draining. I understand how hard that is and how blessed I am to get to stay home with our baby. However, I think he should help around the house more. Every once in a while, he'll do the dishes if I bribe him. But most of the time, I'm doing everything. Our house is very messy because our baby is clingy and doesn't like to be put down very much. Yesterday, he asked me to do the laundry when I got home, but he was home doing nothing, so I finally just told him to do it. But I put it in the dryer this morning, and he mixed the whites and colors. I just think he could have tried harder at the simplest task of putting the laundry in the washer. Would it be unfair of me to ask him to try harder around the house? And if it isn't, how do I go about bringing up the conversation?
Sounds to me like they have deeper issues, perhaps.
Josh, women need the communication.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gone 50 hours, and then he comes back, and he's just wiped out, and then he kind of wants to watch football.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of wants to watch. I get that if you coming home and it's like, look, dude, maybe it's not necessarily the laundry, but maybe it's like, interact with us like a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then when you're not getting the interaction that you just rightfully need, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and
sure.
Josh, a lot of guys, this is their excuse. And it's hard because I feel like we're constantly dogging on guys when we're not. It's just we expect a lot from you. You're working 50-hour weeks. I get that. But then it's like you're not just done. You have a family. You've got to communicate with. If you don't communicate with them, then they're going to start nitpicking all this little stuff that you're not doing. If he communicated with her and came home and they like had a nice relationship where he was like, "Hey, I'm not going to watch TV.
Yeah.
All this stuff. I'm not just going to sit on my phone to recharge." It's sucking your life out of you.
Right.
And so it's like, well, if you're just on your phone, like, why don't you do the laundry? I get that. Like, I would think the same thing.
Yeah.
Or just screw the laundry, just talk to me.
Right.
And that would be better. Like, I
Right.
wouldn't whine about this.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of on her side.
Yeah, I mostly am too. I get the exhaustion of this guy. I get that. And I think the only thing I kind of have a little bit of tough time with is him being like, "Hey, why don't you go do the laundry?" Like while he's sitting there doing nothing. Because in his mind, he's like, "Well, I worked all day."
Yeah,
And it's
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
right, but she did too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, having a kid already is a full-time job, but having a kid that doesn't want to be put down all day, that's overtime.
Yeah, and he needs to be understanding of that. I feel like it's just a lack of communication. Is what it really feels like. And it is hard because, you can nitpick at her message. Like, okay, she seems a little, like, resentful.
Well, she probably is a little resentful.
But maybe it's rightfully deserved. Like I used to say, well-deserved, like, as a kid.
I think that... I think there's faults on both sides, and it's because people aren't communicating well. You just need to sit down with them and say, look, can we agree on chores that I'm going to do and chores that you're going to do? And, if that just means I get you to agree to like one or two things, that would really help out. That would make the day less stressful. And then when you come home, could we actually like communicate and talk like Jordan is saying? I think that'll go a long way. I just, in my experience, in my own life, and also just observing other people, once you're arguing about, well, you didn't do this chore, you got other things going.
Yeah, exactly.
You got it's not about the laundry.
Yeah. You feel neglected. Is what it is. That pretty much comes down to that.
Right. And no, because I like when you're having a good day, you're in a good frame of mind. You think the way you think about it isn't, why isn't the laundry done? Your thought process is, oh, I can help with the laundry. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not. It doesn't feel like a job you have to do. It's like a service, a servant's heart, whether from her end or his end, to say, let me just take. I can tell that my spouse has had a long day. I can help with this. It's just helping each other out, and it doesn't need to feel like you always do this chore. It can just be like help each other out, have a plan, but then be willing to be flexible with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. This feels like young marriage problems. I would say get it figured out quick. Don't resent each other. Just communicate, please. And if he doesn't want to communicate, then You need to figure that out more than anything else.
Yeah.